Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I got a clip that I want to show you, and we're going to talk about why only Black women are proud to be masculine as women. I'm going to run the clip twice, and there are a few things that I want to talk about. So without further ado, let me go ahead and share my screen, and here we go.
When it comes to conversations, because dudes don't like when women have an opinion for some odd reason. I think that two things can be true at once. I think that it can be a world that says, we don't need men, but we want men. And I think that it's a world that exists for SD where it's a super soft spoken and feminine woman that's just there to do whatever daddy says.
Yes,
Here's
daddy.
Zaddy. Not daddy.
I'm
Zaddy.
sorry, Zaddy says, and cooks dinner and gives him the wherever he wants and anytime. And that's great. But I just think that instead of demonizing each world, we should just have a conversation about it. So with you, that's cool. You don't have to want to fuck a like me. My husband want to fuck a like me.
Oh!
As a woman that's usually deemed masculine when it comes to conversations, because dudes don't like when women have an opinion for some odd reason. I think that two things can be true at once. I think that it can be a world that says, we don't need men, but we want men. And I think that it's a world that exists for SD where it's a super soft spoken and feminine woman that's just there to do whatever daddy says.
Yes,
Here's
daddy.
dinner.
Zaddy. Not daddy.
I'm
Zaddy.
sorry, Zaddy says, and cooks dinner and gives him the wherever he wants and anytime. And that's great. But I just think that instead of demonizing each world, we should just have a conversation about it. So with you, that's cool. You don't have to want to fuck a like me. My husband want to fuck a like me.
Oh!
Now, before I stop sharing, it's you know what, I'm gonna stop sharing. It's the disingenuous behavior and the disingenuousness for me, as well as the mocking. We shouldn't demonize both worlds, but it was mocked. Feminine women are mocked all the time, sometimes by a lot of the women and sometimes by men. It's problematic in our community because it's a lot of times submissive women or women who are really feminine are not really respected very much, because our submission is always nearly 100% of the time equated with either stupidity or it is equated with not having boundaries or not being able to create boundaries, not having opinions, not having a thought in your head, not being able to express those thoughts and feelings, not having a voice, being so timid that you're a doormat, that the men can just run all over you and then it's just nothing. And we have this misconception on both sides. The women, they perpetuate that stereotype of submissive women because she even delivered it mockingly. She didn't say that with respect. She said that she was indicating that feminine women don't have any boundaries in their relationships and that they don't have any say in their relationships. And then there are also some men who think that submission means that submission means that a woman never has anything to say and she shouldn't have anything to say. She doesn't have an opinion. She doesn't have a thought. She's unable to think for herself. She's unable to function um, autonomously as a human being. That because she needs leadership or desires leadership, that somehow that makes her less than. It makes her less of a human being, and it makes her not worthy really of any real respect or consideration. And it's such a disturbing view. I'm always very triggered when it comes to this subject of equating submission to a lack of intelligence, low IQ, something wrong. Because what it ultimately says is that for a Black woman to be feminine, there's something inherently wrong with her. She's inherently deficient as a human, as a person, as a woman. It's not glorified. It isn't spoken of highly. It isn't spoken of positively. It's spoken of negatively. Even sometimes by men who are saying that they want submissive women, they follow that up with insinuating that for them submissiveness means a woman that always does what her husband wants without any word, without any, she's unable to give insight, she's unable to add value. Her emotionalism or her femininity doesn't add value necessarily. It's there to be utilized, but it doesn't really have any inherent value there. He don't gotta respect it. He can respect it, but he don't got to. And if she's submissive, she won't require respect. She won't require that she is respected as a member of this relationship whose opinions and thoughts actually matter here. And hyenas, both male and female, purport this stereotype. Like I said, I'm always triggered by it because I'm a very submissive woman, but I'm also quite willful. And I don't find that these things are mutually exclusive. I have boundaries. I got plenty of boundaries. I got to say, I know how to open my mouth. And then it was demonized. It was vilified. Give him the, sex whenever he wants. And it was, and that was like mocked. So we've got to be mocked for doing things that make our relationships peaceful. And I think that a lot of Black women confuse having an opinion with being overly aggressive. You don't have to challenge a man in the sense of you become his rival. You're not the iron that sharpens the iron. Leave that to other men in his life and other situations in his life that are made to strengthen him. You are there for support. You're supposed to be the soft landing. You're not supposed to be the other piece of iron. And feminine women get mocked for knowing that, for knowing that I don't have to be the other piece of iron. I don't have to get in his face. I don't have to create a combative environment, or I've got a rebuttal for the sake of having a rebuttal. A rebuttal is not the same thing as having insight. And too many Black women don't know the difference. They don't know the difference between masculine and feminine in the first place because they think that they're supposed to solve their man's problems and things like that. That's coming from a masculine energy. You can give the same support, actually better support, coming from a feminine energy, and that don't make you dumb. That doesn't make you unintelligent. That doesn't make you spineless. It doesn't make you weak. And it's just frustrating to hear that continually be said or agreed with, that submission actually means that a woman is a doormat and that she offers no value in terms of her insight and her thoughts and her feelings and how her perspective and how she sees things. Like he can't come to her for that because a submissive woman is too stupid to give him that. And I just find it rather insulting, because that's actually one of the things that I like most about myself is my intelligence, is the fact that my IQ is rather high. Anyways, jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.